Want to know how to host a designer dinner?
I love that.
We've made all the food from the Devil Wears Prada,
You eat carbs, for Christ's sake!
so you can watch the movie and eat along with Andy.
Groundbreaking.
Throw on your cerulean and gird your loins.
A little Crisco and some fishing line and we're in business.
And let's fashion
Fashion is crucial.
a beast.
That's all.
Going for picture, lock it up. Roll camera.
Rolling.
In this series, we're going to show you how to host epic dinner party movie screenings
It's showtime!
Roll sound.
with recipes to eat along with your favourite characters.
Someone's having a party tonight.
Oh yeah.
We are on in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to a film club like no other.
Dinner is served. Action.
Dinner and a movie.
Corn chowder.
That's an interesting choice.
You do know that cellulite is one of the main ingredients in corn chowder.
Believe it or not, there's no corn chowder without corn. And we're going to use 5 ears of corn. That's a whole lot of corn.
Easy there, Tiger.
Remove all the kernels, but keep hold of the cobs for later. This makes a large quantity of soup, but it freezes well, so it's worth making a big batch. If you'd rather, you can of course scale down the recipe. Streaky bacon adds a richness and lovely depth of flavour to the soup. Thinly slice 6 pieces and fry that off in a large soup pot. Once the bacon is golden brown and the fat has rendered out, get it out and stick it aside for later. But keep all that bacon fat in the pan and top it up with a knob of butter.
You do know that cellulite is one of the main ingredients in corn chowder.
Once melted, go in with a diced onion, 1 large diced carrot and 2 sticks of celery. The veg needs to cook down for about 5 minutes until it softens. Once the veg is softened, chuck in 2 medium diced potatoes and a diced green pepper. Honestly, I prefer a sweeter red pepper, but we're going to be purists because it looks like they used green in the movie.
That is great.
The corn kernels also go in, along with the cobs, 500 millilitres of whole milk, 750 millilitres of chicken stock, salt heavily, and a crack of black pepper. Reduce to a low heat and let this bubble away for 15 to 20 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender. Once the veg is cooked, remove and discard the corn cobs.
It doesn't make sense throwing away all those months of hard work.
To get a thicker, more creamy, luscious texture, we're going to remove about 1/3 of the soup and blend it up until it's glossy and smooth. Mix that back in with the rest of the soup, along with half the bacon from earlier. Do a final taste test and adjust the seasoning. Top things off with a little soured cream, a sprinkle of chopped chives, and the remaining bacon. And remember, warn your guests, this dish is much easier to eat when you're sitting down.
Shoot.
Oh, never mind. I'm sure you had plenty more polyblend where that came from.
And then I said, no, I couldn't see the difference between the two absolutely identical belts. And you should have seen the look she gave me. I swear, I thought the flesh was gonna melt off her face. It's not funny.
God. I'm not even hungry anymore.
What?
That is why those girls are so skinny.
Oh, no. Give me that. There's like $8 of Jarlsberg in there.
You know what?
In honour of the film's most iconic food moment, we're going to serve our chowder with a mini grilled cheese on the side. Grab a couple of slices of bread. I like this white sourdough, and they're nice small slices. You're going to need 40 grams of cheese. Obviously, we have to use Jarlsberg, but instead of using the full $8, I'm choosing to mix it up with Gruyere.
You'll take what I give you and you'll like it.
Jarlsberg is a great melter, but it's very mild, so I like the addition of the more complex and nuttier Gruyere. A little Dijon mustard cuts through the richness of the cheese and balances everything out nicely. The sweetness and heat that come from using this honey Dijon is excellent. Use 1.5 teaspoons per sandwich, as it's a lot milder than a standard Dijon.
I'm so excited though.
Butter the top and it will go in the pan this side down. Trim the crusts and get it into little triangles to serve alongside our corn chowder. We're going to serve 2 little triangles per person.
Well, we need more, don't we? Oh.
Now, Nate might be the true villain of the movie, but you've got to admit, he makes a good-looking grilled cheese.
I don't know what I'm gonna do without those late night grilled cheeses.
Coat bag. What's that? Oh, I don't want that. I'm having lunch with Irv. I'll be back at 3. I'd like my Starbucks waiting. Oh, and if you don't have that Harry Potter book by then, don't even bother coming back.
We're going to start with the mashed potato. Grab a kilo of potatoes. This mountain of potatoes needs to be peeled and diced into 3 centimetre cubes. Cover with cold water, salt heavily, and we're going to bring this up to a boil and reduce down to a simmer. These are going to gently simmer for 15 to 18 minutes until they're fork tender. Once they're cooked, drain them and leave the potatoes to steam dry in the colander for 5 to 10 minutes. We want all the moisture to evaporate off. If you love mash, it's definitely worth investing in a ricer. You can get everything much smoother than if you use a traditional masher. As always, you can find links to all the equipment used in this video in the description box below. Once a potato is nice and smooth, you've got to do as the French do and hit it with a load of dairy.
When I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
Warm 150 millilitres of whole milk with 150 grams of unsalted butter. Adding these guys warmed up is going to help them to absorb better. Heat until the milk is warmed through and the butter is melted. Then mix in 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard for a little acidity to cut through the richness, and 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. Potato can take a lot of salt anyway, and with all the fat from the milk and butter, it needs a lot of seasoning.
And God knows how long that's going to take.
Slowly pour the mixture into the potato and mix it in. It seems like a lot of liquid, but the potato is going to drink it all up.
Someone's been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Don't work the potato too much. The more you move it around, the more starch will get released, and the potato will start to become gloopy and gluey. Ew.
No, no, no!
Give it a taste test, make any seasoning adjustments, and then we're ready to plate up, with a sprinkling of chives for garnish. We're copying Miranda today and going for a big old bone-in situation. Moisture is the enemy of caramelization, so be sure to dry off your meat.
Sometimes I can't believe I talk about this crap all day.
This steak has been out of the fridge for about 45 minutes to get it to room temperature. If it was still super cold in the middle, then it wouldn't cook evenly. Generously season the steak with salt and pepper. Now there's some contention about the best time to salt the meat, but personally I think doing it at this stage is fine.
Do it now.
To get a good sear, you need to get your pan really hot. Be sure to use a flavourless oil with a high smoke point. If you press down on the steak and weigh it down, you're going to get a nice even crust. The meat will self-release from the pan when it's ready. If it's still sticking, it ain't done.
Why is no one ready?
I like to add a knob of butter and any flavourings in just after I flip to the second side. Really thick steaks and bone-in like this one need to be finished off in the oven. Searing in the pan first will give us the crust, and the oven is going to cook it through. Using a thermometer is the best way to guarantee your meat is cooked to your liking. To help you out, we've got a temperature guide over on our website, biteclub.tv, so go over and check it out.
Oh, I'm sorry, do you have some prior commitment? Some hideous skirt convention you have to go to?
Rest your steak for about 10 minutes. This will relax the meat and allow the juices to reabsorb, so you get a tender and delicious steak. For a final flourish, Miss Priestley calls for chopped parsley. Take a small bunch, about 30 grams, remove the stems and chop it finely. If you want to be a movie purist, just stop here. Sprinkle this over the steak and be done with it. But if you want to make things a little fancier, there's nothing quite like a chimichurri.
Yeah, whoopee.
Hit the parsley with 100 millilitres of good quality olive oil, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, crack a black pepper, then mince in 2 cloves of garlic. And lastly, finely chopped red chilli. You want to let this sit for at least an hour before serving, or ideally make it the day before. And now it's time to serve. This definitely isn't going to end up in the sink.
That's all.
Do you know what really just gets me about this whole thing? Is that, you know, you're the one who said that you don't really care about this stuff. And you don't really care about fashion. You just want to be a journalist. And what a pile of bollocks!
Emily, I know you're mad. I don't blame you.
Face it, Andy. You sold your soul the day you put on that first pair of Chimichurris. I saw it. And do you know what really just kills me about this whole thing? It's the clothes that you're gonna get. I mean, you don't deserve them. You eat carbs, for Christ's sake. God. So unfair.
Crack 2 eggs into a bowl and whisk them until they're aerated and have lightened in colour.
I'm still learning about this stuff.
This stuff?
Next, we're going to make a slurry with 2 tablespoons of corn flour and a dash of milk. This is going to help to thicken everything up. Stick that in with the egg yolks and pop the bowl aside. In a saucepan, take 500 millilitres of whole milk and hit it with 100 grams of caster sugar, 35 grams of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of kosher salt to season the chocolate.
Can you just repeat that first? Hello?
Stick it on a medium-low heat and keep your eyes peeled. It needs to come off the heat just before it reaches a simmer. And you've got to be sure that the milk doesn't boil.
This is of the utmost importance, do you understand?
Slowly pour a little of the heated milk into the egg yolks and keep whisking. Then we're going to pour this back into the saucepan. This tempers the eggs and stops them from scrambling. Place the saucepan back on the heat for a couple of minutes until it thickens, and keep stirring so it doesn't catch on the bottom.
Man the desk at all times, got it.
Once the mixture is thickened a little, remove from the heat and stir in a tablespoon of unsalted butter. Once this cools, it will thicken more, so at this stage it should be a little loose. Pop the pudding into serving bowls and cover closely with cling film to prevent a skin from forming. We're going to stick these in the fridge for a couple of hours until they're cooled and set. Serve up the pudding with some fun toppings like orange zest mascarpone, jam-filled raspberries, and a grating of chocolate on top. Wonderful!
Not wonderful yet. It's pretty.
That too.
Who needs Paris?
What? No.
And that's all, folks. Tablescape ideas, equipment links, full recipes, and time codes of when to serve each course are available on our website, linked in the description box. And don't forget, the first rule of Bite Club is you talk about Bite Club.